Welcome to Buddi News Roundup, where we're fetching the latest news for you. We've got a pig and a monkey, a bloodhound who finds an autistic boy, and a lost dog who was found a long, long way from home. With me, as always, are Layla and Nathan. Hello.
Hello?
Good morning.
All right, let's get started, Nathan.
Well, let's start with the monkey business.
Okay.
Don't you just hate when you leave your garage open and this happens?
Wildlife Command Center, how can I help you?
Hi there.
There's a monkey in my garage.
It looks like the one off of Friends. I am not even joking.
Time to call the boss,
Come on.
Michael Barehands Baran.
This is one of her favoriteest things, to get tickled.
As the name and the bare hands suggest, he catches wild animals and lost pets barehanded.
This is Sissy. Sissy is a spider monkey.
Different than the one in the garage.
Yeah, the monkey in the garage was a capuchin.
And at first, he and the team at Wildlife Command Center couldn't believe it.
They told me that there was a monkey in the garage. I was 100% sure that it was just a raccoon. But it really is. Look at this.
Yep, that's definitely a monkey.
This is the first time in 60 years it was actually a monkey.
And the first time he caught one, but not before this happened.
Then it jumped onto the owner of the house and she freaked out.
She opened the laundry room door, and in it went. From there,
It was easy for me to get my hands on the monkey. You know, you just kind of control them, hold them in a way that they're not going to feel threatened. And I was able to get it into a carrier safely.
the last bit of the story, Sissy helped with the microphone.
Jefferson County 911 dispatcher called us, and we were able to trace the owner back from a missing primate report.
After showing the proper permits, the monkey was reunited with its owner. Sissy, on the other hand, will be in foster at Michael's house for a few more months. Tracy Hinson, 5 on your side.
The old monkey in the garage act. I've seen it a million times. Yeah, I love that the guy's like, and for the first time in 50 years, it was a monkey in the garage. Reminds me of a story. I used to hang out in bars a lot. I don't anymore. And in Phoenix, Arizona, I was hanging out in this bar, and this guy wound up sitting next to me that was from my hometown back in Wisconsin, back in Oconomowoc, Wisconsin. So out of all the random people I could sit next to, it was him. And he graduated high school 20 years before me. And so we're talking about things in Oconomowoc, and he goes, "Hey, you remember in the late 60s?" And I'm like, "No, because I wasn't born." But he's like, "You remember in the late 60s when that circus came to town and all the monkeys got out? And the monkeys were like going down the telephone wires by," and he's mentioning this area of my hometown in Wisconsin. I'm like, "No, I don't remember that." But that is a crazy sight. Anytime you open your garage and you see a monkey in there, crazy, crazy times.
I don't know how you can mistake a raccoon for a monkey. When he said, I knew it was going to be a raccoon. I was thinking, really? I love that she said it looks like the one from Friends. For donuts, who knows the name of the Friends monkey?
Isn't it Marcel?
Marcel.
Oh my
that's right.
goodness. Very good, Ryan. Yeah.
It was a trivia question the other night. I was at trivia. And I also did not know you could foster monkeys. I don't know what that involves, but Ryan, I think that would meet we've already hit the limit of cats. I think we could foster a monkey.
I
Let's see
agree.
how that goes.
I agree. I think you guys should start fostering monkeys
fun.
for sure.
That's how the Planet of the Apes starts. I'm just throwing it out there.
You know, I'm not a fan of the Planet of the Apes, so.
Well, then you're not a fan of having a monkey in our home.
Yeah. Yeah, the monkey, the idea, I think, of having a pet monkey is probably a lot better than actually having one. I think the actual monkey maintenance would be a bit much,
The MM.
Just saying
Yes.
the word monkey maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just notice his personal monkey had a diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot right there.
Yeah.
About the MM.
It's a mess. All right. Let's go on to, I think we'll go to the great story. You find your dog, you lose your dog, and then your dog ends up 1,300 miles away. Definitely like how that happened. So great story.
Finally tonight, the good stuff, a dog's long journey home. 2 years ago in the Dallas area, Gloria Greer and her husband, Will Peace, let their dogs out into the backyard to run around a little bit. And one of them, a 5-year-old miniature schnauzer named Coco, very cute dog, never came back. Apparently escaped through a gap in the fence line. Now, they did everything they could to find her, but eventually they had to accept the fact that Coco was gone. So you can imagine their surprise when Gloria's phone rang last week with the news that Coco was still alive and found wandering around a shopping mall. Police used a chip reader to track down the owners, but this wasn't the local police department calling. They weren't even in the same state.
I was like, oh my God. So I just started screaming. I was like, funny thing is, she's in New Jersey.
Coco was in Clark, New Jersey, to be exact. That's a journey of over 1,300 miles and quite a few obstacles along the way, among them the Mississippi River, the Great Smoky Mountains, the Appalachians, almost the entire eastern seaboard, in fact. 2 years? Is Coco living in the wild? Is she fighting off bears?
Well, I don't think she was living in the wild, only because of the size. She's bigger than when she left. She gained a lot of weight.
Will says police told him maybe a truck driver had made off with Coco. Either way, the couple grateful to the officers who took care of the dog for 3 days, keeping Coco out of the pound until they could pick her up. They say Coco was always their adventure puppy, finding a way out of her playpen when she was just a pup. So for good measure, Will has promised Gloria that he patched each and every hole in that fence. Good luck, Will.
I just want to comment, first of all, that the national CBS News is doing feel-good pet stories. This is the second one we've seen on our Buddi News Roundup, which is good. I'm glad they are because it leaves people happy. I'm very glad that Coco was found. I like the hypothesis of truck driver picked Coco up and took Coco away. But very, very glad that Coco was fine. And once again, as we always say, get your animals chipped.
Yeah, I definitely agree. When I was listening to them and thinking about how a dog would actually get from Texas, where we live, to New Jersey, there's no way that dog could have done it on its 4 legs. So someone had to have scooped it up, and then he ran away from that person or got away or went on an adventure. And then when he was actually chipped, and no harm to the truck driver, whoever found him, they probably saw him, thought he was a stray, scooped him up and thought they were doing a good deed. Wild. Sometimes, man, 2 years, that's a long time to be without your pet. And so what a great feel good story that they get their little Coco back. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just I mean, the truck driver story. Yeah, that could be, or just someone, took the dog for, they were traveling cross country and, felt it was a stray or whatnot. But yeah, I think of the adventures certainly had to have some kind of human intervention along the way at some point.
Well, he was fatter when he got home.
And what's with all these dogs that escape and then don't come back? Like I don't know. My whole life, when I was a kid, if our dogs got out of the fence, they would go run around the neighborhood, but then they'd just come back and they'd be at your front door, like they knew to come home. So I don't know. It's really weird, but good reason to have them chipped for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, we've got. I think we'll go. We'll keep the wild theme and go with a pig story. Pig story is always good.
I'm on the ground. I'm so excited right now. It is a farm party with lovely adoptable animals from the Happy Trails Animal Sanctuary in Ravenna. We have Lissy, Bernadette, along with our little 5-month-old piglet friend, Feta. Hi, guys. Hi, Feta. Feta is like me. He is motivated by food. He was in that crate, and he was like, listen, stay away from me, folks. And as soon as that food came out, he was like, I'm here. How are you guys doing? Thank you for bringing Feta in.
Thanks for having us.
So, Happy Trails farm animal sanctuary. Are we talking all types of farm animals that are there? How do they come into you? And then are they all adoptable?
Yes, so we take in farm animals and horses, and they come in several different ways. So we, of course, are always happy to assist with humane officers and law enforcement. We have our owner relinquish program and also our Amish horse retirement program, because we have pigs, cows, chickens, geese, horses. We also have a couple programs, especially our Solutions to Avoid Intake program. That's designed to help owners keep their animals at home, where we can provide some micro grants for animals like these.
Oh, so that's wonderful that you help keep them with their families too, when able to.
Absolutely.
You had some little piglets that were maybe going to come, but they unfortunately couldn't be here. But so you have little piglets up for adoption
we have
too?
tiny little piglets, so they couldn't come because they're still nursing. So they couldn't make the trip to Cleveland.
That's okay.
But they will be available for adoption. When it comes to our pigs, we always neuter and spay, just like dogs and cats. So when they are the right age, just like Feta, he is 5 months old. He was recently neutered, so he is currently available along with his six brothers.
Wow. No, we were seeing some images of the little teeny ones. Oh my, does that not just melt your heart? It's Wilbur right there. That's Wilbur.
Truly, truly.
So can you guys tell me a little bit about Feta here? Like what, I know they're very smart animals.
Pigs are very smart. People compare their intellect to that of a dog. They say that they have the mental cognition of a 3-year-old, so they can be trained. They know their names. They know your face.
They know their names.
Yeah.
And your face, so that when you come home from work,
Yep. They're very smart animals. People kind of underestimate them, I think, but
I never want to eat bacon ever
I know.
again.
Great line
What
to
a
end
closing
that on.
line.
Yeah, I never want to eat bacon ever again. Yeah, so the news anchor is in love with Feta.
Clearly.
And it would not surprise me if she took Feta home. I have heard that too, that pigs are very smart. They didn't really get into it, and maybe both of you have heard, can they be potty trained?
Yeah, I don't think that they can.
Okay.
I don't know they can be trained to go outside. I don't know.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, pigs are sweet, and if that's your thing, well then, adopt a pig.
So
Layla,
my
do you wanna
esthetician
adopt a pig?
actually has a pig.
Your esthetician
And-
Oh,
has a pig.
really?
There's
Yes.
a joke in there somewhere.
No, she has a pig, and I said to her the other day, because she's gonna move. She's moving from here in Texas to Key West, and I said, "Well, how are you gonna move the pig? Is it like, can you put it in a crate?" And she's like, "Oh no." And she showed me a picture. You guys, it's like a farm-sized pig. It's not like I imagine
Oh,
like a little
wow.
teacup pig.
She has a big pig.
She has a big pig, and that pig that they just showed is going to also be, it's not like this cute little, like I just always, like these pot belly pigs
Right.
or whatever, I always assume
Yeah.
they'd be like little teacup size. They're big pigs. So I don't know. I can ask her if they're potty trained. I'm going to assume that they can be, but I don't know. I will come back to you guys next week with an answer.
So does the pig live outside then, if it's that
No,
big?
it lives in her house. It's wild.
boy.
I'm telling you. She showed me
The
pictures
pig-
up on the couch.
Got to be house trained.
Gotta
it's
be
got-
house
they gotta
trained.
be. Yeah, you
Gotta
got.
It's gotta
Gotta
be.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask my friend. I had a friend who had a pig. It wasn't huge though. It was, I don't know, yay big, and it's like the fur is super thick, and
Yeah.
it is like the way it's so dense and like strong. It's like petting a giant hairy thumb. I mean, it's so it's so dense.
That is
It's just-
descriptive.
yeah, it is. It is. It is not like a dog at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know.
Here,
And
Pet my
I don't think
thumb
I'd ever
pig.
have a. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever have a pig just because I like bacon so much, and
Same.
I just don't
delicious.
want that to ever get ruined.
Just one more thing on this. I love that they have an Amish horse retirement program. So in Ohio, in Pennsylvania, there's a huge Amish community. And I used to go to Pennsylvania a lot, rural Pennsylvania, for work. And man, I mean, they have their own lane on the road. They have parking stalls and like the little I forgot the word, like a carport basically for them to park their horses under in the winter. So I love that I never thought about what happens to those horses when they've aged out, because they're actually working horses. So I think that's a really cool thing that they do.
You know, the good thing about the Amish, they never get DWIs because they're on horseback.
They technically could.
Could they?
Yes,
Yeah.
they could.
Anytime you're in any
Anything.
kind of vehicle, bike,
Is that considered
horse,
driving?
it's a
on horseback?
DUI. Yeah, it's
They've got
Yeah.
a carriage and
Riding. It's an RWI. Riding while intoxicated.
Technically it is.
All right, our next story, dog tracks down a missing boy. Great story.
Finally tonight, the good stuff. If you've never seen a bloodhound in action, you're about to meet a hero named Hoot.
Yes! That's a good girl!
A very good girl and a very good night for this Florida canine named Hoot, whose job this week was to find a missing boy near Port St. Lucie. All she needed was a harness and a sniff of the boy's belongings.
Check. Good check.
And she was off on the trail.
She's on him.
Pulling police through alleys and streets, around fences and down railroad tracks.
Ethan, police department!
As desperate as anybody, it seemed, to find the boy, a 13-year-old with autism who had wandered away from a local gym.
Ethan, you in here?
And when Hoot finally succeeded, just after nightfall, in an instant, she went from search dog to comfort dog.
Come pet my dog, Ethan.
The boy there petting her on the head. Hoot's handler also celebrated the job well done.
You found him! Good girl!
And while bloodhounds don't always look happy exactly, I'd say Hoot is smiling tonight. Hoot really is a hero. Port St. Lucie police told us that the canine there, Hoot, has helped find 4 missing children in the past 2 years. Hoot the hero indeed.
Hoot the hero. The anchor of the CBS News has turned a moving blanket into a coat, which is very interesting to me. Other than that, Hoot the bloodhound. Wow, she was so excited to find that boy and get him. And then I love they were right on with the rescue animal turns into a comfort animal, and she's just eager to get her pets and her love too. And so I'm glad this had a happy ending and they found the boy.
I'm always crying on SAP. Just want to reiterate what I say all the time. We don't deserve dogs. That dog was amazing. I love how excited she was when she found him. And I love that they caught this on camera, by the way. Like, sometimes you get the retelling of the story, but to see the little boy actually sitting in the cold, probably, or like, I don't know, Port St. Lucie, that's Florida. So maybe not cold, but definitely scared. It's dark. He's autistic. He's by himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. Great. It was a great story.
Yeah.
Love that dog.
Totally uplifting and just, man, I agree. The amazing ability that dogs have to be used like that. I think it's, for that we forget that, they don't just do, drug sniffing and catching criminals and stuff like that. They also find a lot of missing persons. They do, they help the police a lot of way. Maybe that's a good TV series for us someday.
There you go.
Is digging into, the way that dogs help law enforcement,
Love that.
Me too.
All right. We have a great story here. Some firefighters are reunited with a dog they found.
Today, it was a heartwarming reunion for Clearwater firefighters. They got to catch up with the family dog, Bandit. They rescued from a house fire earlier this month. Now, the quick actions of those firefighters were thanks to a vigilant neighbor and a Ring doorbell camera.
I got goosebumps. They saved not only him, they saved me too, and they saved my dog. I mean, he's truly my best friend.
For Brian Rogers, this day probably would have never happened.
I felt hopeless. I've never felt so hopeless in my life.
On November 2nd, he was away from his home on Barbara Avenue in Clearwater when a fire broke out. His dog, Bandit, was inside.
My neighbor rang my doorbell camera, and he's like, your house is on fire. I'm like, get my dog, and he tried.
That neighbor called 911, and firefighters quickly responded and made entry into the home and found Bandit.
Grabbed him. He was unresponsive. We pulled him out and made our way out to the front yard. As soon as we got out there, we laid him down in the grass. One of the guys brought over an O2 mask for pets, We hooked him up.
They were able to get Bandit oxygen and get him to a better place. A tremendous relief to Bandit's owner.
When I got to the house and I saw him in the back of the police car breathing, it was a big sigh of relief.
Bandit's recovery has been slow after spending time on oxygen.
The first night was a lot of coughing and whatnot. I was up with him all night, brought him into the shower or the steam, get steam in him and whatnot, into the bathroom, the hot shower, and he really, he's come around a lot.
Now, Bandit is back to his normal, active self.
Back at squirrels again, he's back at chasing dolphins, and he's just a crazy dog, and I'm glad able to do those things with him still. 100% grateful.
And Rogers is eternally grateful to the men and women who risked their lives to save his best friend.
This is the main piece of the house that I needed back, so yeah, we got it. Thanks to these guys right here.
Rogers rescued Bandit about 7 years ago from the Suncoast Animal League, and the two have formed quite the bond, a bond that is now extended to Clearwater Fire Rescue.
They are heroes, you know, for what Bandit has been through, looking at what he looked like the day it happened, and now completely different dog, or at least back to himself.
Yeah, everything, the timing was just perfect. The neighbor noticing the fire, Rogers being able to tell the firefighters where in the home Bandit usually slept, that was all critical in getting him home safe.
This will teach Bandit not to sleep with a lit cigarette in his paw. and now he knows. But other than that, my favorite part of the video is how happy Bandit is getting all the pets from the firefighters. Like, just living the best life. Very happy. And what a great thing for the neighbor to do. Ring the Ring doorbell camera, because it's going to be, it's going to alert you on your phone, and love it. And the anchor had it right at the end. Everything timed out perfectly. And, Bandit had a little bit of a rocky road, but man, he's okay now, and he's sure is happy.
I thought the same thing. What a smart neighbor to ring that doorbell camera and continue to ring until he answered. I didn't know that fire trucks were set up with pet oxygen masks. So that's good to know.
Was interesting, huh?
Yeah, this is a big fear of mine, that something would happen when I'm not near my house, and then my cats, who love to hide, would be in that house, and I'm just always terrified of that. So I'm really happy that this had a happy ending. And again, smart neighbor, firemen that were willing and ready to jump in there. And there's
your
our
cats
baby.
Don't hide that well.
No, not that one.
It's
he
Buddi.
probably loved that oxygen mask.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, the first responders, what heroes they are, and they save our furry best friends as well, not just humans. And I thought it was really neat that, I didn't know that they had the mask prepared for dogs, and boy, I'm glad that could have, if that had they been a little bit later, could have ended horribly. And so just goes to show they're the ones out there. It's great. All right, next story is a family that gets reunited. I think you'll like this one.
Each animal that comes and goes through the doors of the Northeast Arkansas Humane Society has a story. And for one cat named June, his story proved quite the tale, a year in the making.
I know. What you doing, Bubba? What you doing, Bubba?
The Northeast Arkansas Humane Society sees its share of animals. And at first, June seemed like just another stray.
He was just precious, and it's like just a little old cat, that's been on its own.
Staff took June in after he was found outside the Northeast Arkansas Monument Company the night before. When they first saw him, he was in rough shape.
When we first saw him, super skinny, kind of dirty-ish. He looked so bad that I went and got wet food for him just to make him happy, and he inhaled it. He was so hungry.
As they started nursing him back to health, the next big question, did he have a family out there looking for him? Thanks to a microchip, they got their answer.
Called the company. They told us it was a 13-year-old cat named June. The people lived in Alabama. Well, my heart sunk because, we're in Northeast Arkansas. And I sent her a text and told her who it was and said, we had a cat with your microchip.
I got an email, a text, and I'm looking at them and I'm thinking, what in the world? No. June has not been found.
And I was hollering at everybody up front saying, this cat's been gone for a year, y'all. She's coming to get it as soon as she can get here.
June's owner, Judy Popham, and her family moved from Alabama to Northeast Arkansas back in 2025. After all the snow, tornadoes, and flooding that year, she feared the worst until that call. And then the emotional reunion.
It was overwhelming to be reunited with him. He is an amazing cat. I love him to pieces. He is so sweet. I just want to hold him right now because he looks so calm and collected.
You know, it was one of those just happy moments, and it's like, that's why we do what we do. You know, we got somebody's cat back.
We tried asking June to tell us where he's been for the last year, but as you can see, he's a little preoccupied. In Jonesboro, Matt Bowman, live, local, now.
We said it all the time. We say it right on this episode. Chip your animals. So June found and love it. It took a year, but able to reunite June with his owner. Lovely.
Don't skip the chip. It's like, so I don't know. I think anymore it's almost, I think some places do it for free, but I think it's maybe $50. The best $50 you're ever going to spend. That cat, I love that he was vocal and like kind of surly when they found him. Also, contrary to the first animal we saw, he came back skinnier. So he was definitely probably living on his own, trying to survive. With all that weather, every time we get a storm here, I always think about, man, these colony cats or just cats and dogs that don't have a home. It's so tough out there. So I'm very happy this had a happy ending, and I'm very happy June was chipped.
Yeah, I'm glad it had a happy ending. I was thinking cats can probably survive in the wild, or not in the wild, but feral easier than I think dogs can. I think it's probably harder for dogs since they're more accustomed to being fed by their human companion. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, I would think so.
And they're bigger. I don't know. It's people always say, isn't it mean to keep your cat indoors? Because we don't let our cats out. And I always say, no, it's incredibly dangerous for them to be outside. There's so many things that can get a cat. So when you think about it, like a hawk could get them.
Oh,
which sounds crazy, but a hawk could get them. A dog, not so much.
Yeah.
But they could get hit by a car. They could be eaten by a coyote. They could be, there's just a billion things that can happen to them. And so I don't know if it's harder, but I definitely think that animals should be inside. It's just scary.
I agree. Yep. All right. I think we have one other story, and that'll be the last story of the day. I think you guys will like it.
A newly adopted dog went missing, turning one local family's welcome home into a 5-week search. Tonight, the happy ending after the family's dog returned home safe, and they say their family is finally complete. New at 4, Samantha Cavalli finds out how the dog made his way back home.
Zero, can you sit? Yes. It was supposed to be a simple ride home after adoption, but for Emily Rendell Arajo and her family, that first day with Zero turned into a 5-week search through snow, fields, and freezing wind chills.
Pull in the driveway, park the car, I opened the trunk. I did not know that Zero's leash had become untethered, so he just hopped out of the trunk of the car and took down our driveway and ran straight into the field across the street.
Within hours, word of Zero's disappearance spread like wildfire across the community. But finding a lost dog, especially in rural Wisconsin, isn't easy.
We were still nervous, especially with those extreme temperatures. We were worried sick at night. We couldn't sleep.
Stacy and Krista are volunteers for Jeff's Way Home, a lost dog search and rescue group in Wisconsin that helps track, locate, and safely reunite missing dogs with their families.
There's usually a pattern for a dog. Zero really didn't have a pattern, and out where he was is like, it's wilderness, it's rural communities, there's huge fields, there's huge woods. It was a lot, so he was very hard to track.
Zero covered more than 37 miles across 6 communities before he was safely trapped south of Fond du Lac, February 22nd. After weeks of sightings, he finally stayed put long enough for volunteers to set food-baited traps. The winning choice?
I did ask, so what was the magic food that finally got him in the trap? And it was rotisserie chicken. And I said, who wouldn't go into a trap for rotisserie chicken, you know?
Why would you want to be feral when you could have this life?
Down 16 pounds, Zero is back home, settling in fast. And after everything, Emily says their bond is something special.
Obviously, I love our other dogs, but I think this is my soul dog.
Volunteers say stories like this are exactly why they do the work, because bringing a lost dog home safely is worth every sleepless night. In Glen Beulah, Samantha Cavalli, Action 2 News.
Okay, so I didn't know where Wautoma was, so I was doing some Googling. It was actually about an hour and a half north of where I grew up. And then the dog was found in Fond du Lac, which was from Wautoma is an hour and 10, not miles, but hour and 10 in time-wise it would be east of Wautoma. So that dog cooked it too to another location. So we've got a lot of dogs making a lot of ground while they're gone. And so glad another good story here where we're glad he's reunited with his mom.
I love her question. Why would you want to be in here? I ask my cats this all the time whenever I open the door and they try and run away. Who's going to treat you better than I treat you? Nobody.
This is true.
I sometimes I just think they get a wild hair and they want to like adventure, explore, and especially because he was just being brought home. He didn't know what was going on. Yeah, I don't know. With Wisconsin winters and how cold it is, they're very lucky that dog didn't freeze to death. I like to think there's probably some folks along the way that helped him out, but I don't know.
I do want to echo her sentiment. I would definitely get in a cage for some shredded rotisserie chicken.
Oh yeah, rotisserie chicken is the bomb.
It's delicious.
Yeah, I thought it was. I'm glad in the cold weather the dog survived and made it through everything. I thought it was interesting. One that Wisconsin has such strange names of towns. I think that's always interesting. It's like a foreign land or alien world.
Right.
That's always fascinating. But I'm glad the dog survived that and was able to be reunited. And I also thought the soul dog, the lady said she thought it was her soul dog. I think it's fascinating how even though you can have lots of pets, there's usually one that's like, well, this was like a special connection, and I think that's interesting too. So yeah, great story.
I believe in that. I had one of those. He's gone now, and it's never the same.
Yeah.
I love them all. I love them all, but
Yeah.
it's just not the same.
Yeah, agreed.
To wrap up, Nathan, just to help you, remember I grew up in Oconomowoc. The dog was to be taken home to Wautoma and found in Fond du Lac.
It sounds like Klingon. It doesn't sound like English. It's still
Sounds like made up places.
Yes, yeah.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. lot of consonants there.
Yep. All right, that's it.
All right. Well, we'll do it again very soon.